Good morning.
Good morning. Why are you laughing?
Well, because we're crooked and we're trying to get this done. But anyway.
It's Monday.
It's Monday, yeah. So today we're talking about calming the storm within. Mm-hmm. And tell me what that means.
So this month we're concentrating on brain health.
Yep.
And this week we're going to talk about how your autonomic nervous system actually plays into that role of brain health and your risk of dementia-related diseases.
Yeah, so how does that show up?
What do you mean?
Well, what is the storm that we're trying to calm?
Our daily lives. Without sounding like a soap opera, our daily lives.
Yeah.
So it looks like just for instances, in the morning when you wake up, maybe taking some moments to either have a period of mindfulness, some deep breaths. Your breath is a great way to reset your autonomic nervous system. If you can concentrate on doing 6 breaths in 1 minute, so that's a full breath every 10 seconds, that's a great way to bring you into parasympathetic. Otherwise, there's things you can do like specific breathing or humming, a cold immersion.
So I like to say we live in this all yang all the time society where everything is go, go, go. I don't have my...
He didn't put his mic on that I gave him.
Oh, actually, he didn't give it to me. And these aren't, this isn't on either. Well, you let amateurs do things, so... I doubt we have any audio at all.
Can you hear us? I think we have audio. We have audio off the phone.
Okay, well, we have better audio now, I think. Okay, so anyhow, so we live in this all yang all the time society, and even our recreation, as I get a frog in my throat, even our recreation is yang, right? We're playing video games where people are chasing us and trying to kill us, or we're, going for a run, or we're doing something to be productive, and we don't really know how to relax. And it turns out that the thing that drives us to be in yang all the time is really a type of fight or flight. And when you're in fight or flight, you're bathing your brain in cortisol or cortisone all the time.
Thanks, Anne. She said she can hear us.
Oh, good. And cortisone basically shrinks your brain. It also induces insulin resistance. And one type of dementia is sometimes referred to as type 3 diabetes, meaning brain diabetes. So getting your cortisol levels down, your stress levels down, learning more stress management is good for every aspect of your life, not just your brain.
Yeah. And another thing, when you're in fight or flight all the time, there's something called the prefrontal cortex that is involved in your decision making, and that does not work properly. So it's a big deal when it comes to your brain being in fight or flight, not just I'm doing this, doing that, what was I doing? I can't remember what I went in this room for. It's even so much more than that. It's the decisions you make on a daily basis. And some of those decisions, ultimately lead to your health.
Yeah, the shunting blood away from your prefrontal cortex, which is also called the executive center of your brain, and it's where you're able to delay gratification. It's where you're able to manage impulse control. It's the thing that allows you to say no to the cookie. And when you're diverting blood away from that, you can't do those things anymore. And you tend to be more emotionally labile. You tend to be more scattered, less focused. So these are all parts of the storm within that we're trying to tame. And you can't fight your way into taming it. You have to relax your way into taming it. And that really speaks to One of my favorite, we'll call it contemplative practices, is a mindful walk. And the mindful walk is simply going on a walk, not for exercise, not a power walk, not to get your steps in, but to experience it, to be present with your sensory environment. So the sights, the sounds, the smells, the tastes, the textures, all of it. Be absolutely present with that. And as your checkbook and whether or not it needs to be balanced, or that argument you had, or the other thing that happened, start to filter into your mind, return to your breath, return to the smells, return to the sights, and just be absolutely present in this very moment, or as I like to say, the flow of now, because now is already gone, right? So the flow of now, so that you allow your brain to just relax. And for people who, quote, can't meditate, well, you can't, because you're in fight or flight. And when you're in fight or flight, that is really a bad time. Basically, that means, evolutionarily, it means that you're being chased by a saber-toothed tiger. And that is not the time to sit down, cross your legs, and close your eyes, right? So there's good physiological reasons why you, quote, cannot meditate. So instead, we do a meditative walk where we can just be in tune with our senses. And by doing that, we can become aware that the environment is not dangerous, and we can come out of fight or flight.
And sometimes meditation is comfortable. It's just not this relaxing thing. It is uncomfortable because your body is fighting to remain in control. It doesn't want to let go and be present in the moment. It wants to plan out the future. It likes to predict things and know things. And, that's why habits are so hard to break, because they're actually uncomfortable, and your body will sabotage it because it likes that predictability. So you're not really doing mindfulness or meditation wrong. You're doing it right. When you're noticing and you're uncomfortable, you're doing it right. So don't get discouraged if it's hard. And it's just, we really want to talk about this today because it's really important for your brain health. Being locked in fight or flight for years has consequences to your brain.
Yeah, it really does.
All parts of your body, but especially your brain.
Yeah. And so this idea of meditation and not doing it wrong, I think that's really important. The point of meditation is to become aware of all of the noise and craziness in your head. And so if you're sitting there trying to meditate and you're thinking, oh my God, well, guess what? You're noticing it. And what you're noticing
that happens to me a lot.
What you're noticing is what is happening all the time. You're just noticing it when you're trying to meditate. And so as you become more and more aware of what in meditation circles they call monkey mind, although I suspect monkeys are far more present than humans are, but so we should call it human mind. As you become more and more aware of that, then the question has to become, who's in charge and who is who, right? But
who's who in the zoo?
Who's who in the zoo? But are your thoughts in charge, or is there some deeper mind that's in charge? And so, if there's a deeper mind, then why are the thoughts seeming to be in charge? And as the thoughts are really a product of what slightly different than a Freudian idea of ego, but there's this idea of ego in meditation circles that's a little different than Freud's interpretation of ego, but nonetheless, the idea is that the thoughts are a product of the ego trying to predict the future,
They're separate from you.
And they're separate from you, but there's a deeper mind, and that mind is actually quiet and tranquil, and if you can get underneath those thoughts, that's when real transformation can occur.
I like to call it the watcher.
The watcher, yeah. And
the listener.
And I call
it... It's the thing that's listening, not the thing that's chattering all the time. It's the listener.
Yeah. Or as I call it, the that's the mind that's simply observing or listening. Yeah. And so getting in contact with that is the point of meditation, but before you get there, you have to be aware, and most of us are not aware of all of the crazy chatter that's going on in our heads all the time.
So call it an awareness practice, maybe.
Yep. Rather than calling it meditation and all the baggage, full walk today. So
we're back, I think.
I guess we're back, and we'll see if. So I don't know what happened on your end, but on our end we got a message that we were kicked off and we were trying to reconnect. So we were just about to sign off, and we were suggesting try to take a mindful walk today and see how that feels.
Or take moments to be aware. Moments of awareness.
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk later. Bye.
Bye.